Hi, I'm Michael, and I'm sitting here at Essenspiel with Mauro. Mauro is the designer of Chronicles and Drunagor Apocalypse, and also of the reprint, the changes in the original COD, and also of Dante that you see here on the table in front of us. Can you tell us something about this game?
Well, as you might know, Dante is kind of a hybrid game between exploration, investigation, dash solitaire kinds of game, and a boss battler. Here we have taken an approach on Dante's Divine Comedy and tries to encapsulate this in an experience that you can learn about the book, have this feeling that you have been playing a campaign game where there's some plot, something going on, some backstory, and then of course have the opportunity to beat the shit around some iconic characters like the King Minos, for example. In this journey, just to give you a backstory, a quick backstory, there's a man. This man is worried about the fate of mankind. He believes you can no longer be granted salvation only by doing the good deeds, because after seeing how Europe was changing the dawn of the Renaissance, he realizes, okay, mankind is doomed, God has forsaken us. So now, if you want, as Catholics, be granted salvation, we must enter the paradise by walking. And if he believes in this because he read the work of Dante, and he says, okay, there's this road from Jerusalem to the Inferno, from the Inferno to the paradise, so I can build this road. But I believe to conquer the Inferno first. Then he passes his life assembling this military religious order with the purpose of conquer Rel, to beat Lucifer, and build this road. So he invaded Rel. Of course, God doesn't do nothing at this first moment. Everyone believes that he is letting the people as his free will. But the saints are all worried. What would God would think about this if men accomplish this task? This could be the end of the mankind itself. So they approach Dante, who is now a soul in paradise, and tell them, well, Dante, you have already made this journey. So now you have to assemble a team of the earth's finest and try to prevent this guy from achieving this goal, because this could be very well the end of the mankind. Then we arrive there in Limbo without knowing much who we are. We have this lost of mind doing the transition. And then we found Dante, and then he says, we must do this is our divine quest, let's go. But as soon as we step on Limbo, we realize that the passing of the order, how this military order sees themselves, recognize themselves, have changed many things about the landscape, about the punishments, about the dooms, the condemns themselves. Many souls are no longer being judged by Minos because he stops, he locked up in his palace and says, I will no longer play my duty, I will no longer be the judge. And some of them start to return to Earth and wreaking havoc because they reincarnate on their bodies. And it's like near Easter, people start to think, oh, if a new Messiah just got born, it would be crazy. So Dante got worried. We need to understand why Minos done that. So when we reach Minos, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, he says, well, the order passes here. They say they were in Divine Quest 2. And to prove their point, they present me with my wife again. So as a dowry for our remarriage, I let them pass. And now I'm just enjoying my wedding night, my 7 days off, and I will judge no soul until death. Of course, you have to persuade him otherwise. So the fight starts. And this is how each chapter will go. You always see what Dante presented as his work, met the regions, the iconic characters, and what happened by the passing of the order. How can we interact with this? Do we want to restore that order? Do we want to just pass through and try to reach them as fast as possible? Which we're gonna do? The players will decide. This is what we do during the exploration phase, and everything we uncover there will be used here during this boss fight. We'll change our objectives. We will make us either face one character or another, or maybe have to face two characters or three characters in the same fights. This is basically how the game plays as far as narrative and confrontation intertwines in between itself.
Okay, so just sitting here at Essen, this is the last day, looking all the people around you, how has the convention experience been for you? Because it's your first time being here. Yeah. There must have been a lot of people approaching you, wanting to talk about the game, and even COD. How does it feel for you coming here?
Well, I always say what the same thing I said when I was at Gen Con. It's just overwhelming. You know, we flew across a continent, across the world, to meet here to finally get acquainted with our backers, our supporters, the people that believed in your work, that received your work and say, man, I liked what I played, this is what you do, thank you very much, it's a very good game, I had so much fun. And I can't exactly say these words in English because it's something incredible. It is incredible to receive this love, all this feedback, all this sense of community. It's something I personally never thought I would have in my life. And then in the same year, I had this at Gen Con, which is another amazing fair, and I'm having here at Essen, meeting people around the world, meeting people that I just talked through the internet, and I don't know how to express myself. How is this? And how this is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to understand, to be a better game designer. It's incredible. It's just overwhelming.
So when you demo Dante here to people, what was the reaction that you were getting? What would you say were the things that they enjoyed the most about the game?
Well, the things they enjoyed most, for sure, is how this fight gets cinematic and how the furniture is used during the combat. I mean, this piece of furniture, they're not just decoration. All the time, the players are looking for a better position, how to use them on their favor because they have interesting effects. They may give you some benefits for attacking from a higher distance or from a higher ground, or to find chests. But also, the boss will be looking for furniture, so you try to use them as baseball bats, you try to throw characters at pillars, you try to throw pillars at characters all the way around. Everything gonna change, the throne can be thrown, sometimes the building will enter to the ground and raise in another place. Well, it can get really messy. When people see this table mass, this organized table mass, they just, wow, that's so fun. It's very interesting how this mechanic is applied to the game, how we can actually use them during the combat. And I think this is the thing that strikes them most. Apart also with the counterattack situation, because they're just looking things and then there comes a hidden attack and the board changes a little. The board changes every time you take a decision. So they just, whoa, now that happened, we must have to replay this a little bit. And the game becomes very much emergent. You cannot overplan every one of your moves. Almost many players try, but they realize that you must keep playing as each card is played. So a card is played, the board does a little change. Sometimes it affects your play, sometimes it's not. There are not so many counterattacks all the time, but you understand that the game is emergent. There's not like a on-go strategy. You can only do this and always you're gonna be a success. No, you must check every moment for advantage, for the cards you have, for the position the characters are, how painful it will be to do this action right now, or you could wait for another round. I believe this sense of how the gameplay is done during the game, as the game unfolds itself, is what mind blows.
So even though you can create a plan, and one of the things that I really like is that you can choose in which order to do your actions.
Yeah.
But you can make this amazing plan, but you also have to count with the fact that the boss will not just stand there, but he will react to the punches you give him.
Indeed, sometimes your playing can get a little messy along the way, but this is mainly because the boss has these two kinds of actions, two kinds of ways that he can act during the game. The most common one, and is the messy one, is when he counterattacks. I mean, sometimes you're gonna try to hit the boss, and you're gonna do this bad rolling situation, and then he's gonna activate one card and uses. But this card is usually something that moves around the board, that grabs a pillar, throws a character, hits a character. So at one moment you see the board state like this, but then it's like a chess. He just made a move again, just like you did, he just made a move. And now, because of this move, everything has changed. Now he's goes by some character who needs to take a distance. Now you realize that he's gone far away than you wanted to in your melee character, so now to get reach him, you're gonna have to take damage. And all the time you have to be calculating, oh, how painful it is to do this right now, how rewarding will be to do this right now. So you're always playing based on the emergent situation of the game. You have these kinds of plans, you can make some plans, but the moment you're gonna make an attack roll, each attack roll you're gonna make, each time you try to hit the boss, you face the fact that he might counterattacks. In the second time, when all characters have already taken their actions, and so the boss do this, which is his action, which is a much stronger card. It's a cinematic effect. You're gonna jump into characters, kick them from platforms, grab some pillars, try to smash a character against pillars while you move along the way. So this is a really painful movement, so the characters probably will get wounded. And then after this battering of really big blows, characters survive, refresh themselves, and have to think again, wow, how can we manage to score much damage anymore? And the cycle goes on and on and on. It really is an interesting battle, how it unfolds, and I believe to fight this battle for the first time, to see this furniture being thrown around, this throne being thrown on the ground, these arcs being used to smash against a person's head, there must be so exciting. This is why I see they think, wow, and laughing. And this is the feeling you must look when you make designs. And this is the feeling you're pursuing here in Dante. To make a boss battler well dynamic. I believe that the word to define what we're trying to do here is dynamic, is the North word for all design. The more dynamic this game can be, the better for us. This applies to the narrative too, because every time we branch the narrative, we're trying to look, okay, let's go to this point. If the character wants to do this, then what would happen? And then we design upon this. Every decision has same weight, whether it be a yes or a no, it might change the narrative somehow.
And based on your interactions with the community, talking to people, demoing the game, is there anything that you're taking away with you from Essen? Is there anything that you've learned?
Oh, so many things. So many things. I mean, after our first presentation at Gen Con, we already had this so many insights, because people talk, people express their feelings, they share with us what they think about. There's only a limit of things you can understand by reading people reactions and how they got excited with some things, how they with others, how they struggle to understand a card, how they laugh when they roll a bunch of dice and see furniture being thrown around. I mean, there's just too much you can learn with this. But then comes the part when they talk, they express their feelings, and you understand, oh, this might be frustrating if you go that way. Oh, this might not feel rewarding enough for the character who tries to do all this planning, all these actions, the sequence of actions, and in the end it's got foiled by something. So you must think, okay, we must try not to come in the way of the player's way of playing. And then we just do another interaction and go for a new round of table design, and then try to present a new version of the game, bring here to Essen, takes the new version. You see already that the feedbacks are way more positive. Not that the ones in Gen Con were bad, not by far from it.
But you made the game better, you progressed.
You realize
based on
because how the people are excited about doing stuff. I mean, you might feel something that is good because I don't think I have something to complain, I found this really fun, but this might be only 60% of its potential, might be only 80% of its full potential. And then you make some twists here and there. All right, now we're going to try to be to 80% to the 100% of this. And you realize that people, wow, that's really great. I really like when that thing happened. This kind of wow moments happen more often. Then you realize, okay, from the first interaction to here, we actually have a progress, and we're looking for that. This is why every round of presentations, every round of demonstration, play test, is important to read the person, see how they play, how they think, how they strategize, how they feel while they play the game you made, and what they talk. Although we might not try to say exactly what we felt, we might not know how to put this in words, it can be understandable. We can communicate, we can understand that, okay, that character do not feel as powerful as it should. I wasn't defeated, but, well, it lacks that moment I give a punch in the face of the boss and I wanted to. One of the best examples for that is when we introduce this mechanic of throwing to the mercenary. When they are throwing pillars and arc, oh, that's fun. But when we start to throw stairs in the throne, things go... It's mechanically, it's the same damage, it's the same stuff. But when you throw the throne against a character and the character is pushed, and you throw a stair, and now you can use the stairs to climb out a pillar, people just, oh my God, how can it be possible? And this is the feelings we're looking for.
Okay, thank you for taking time to
Oh,
talk
please,
to me.
my pleasure.
And thank you for watching the video with us and following
Thank you.
the campaign.
One last thing. Would I be able to send this thanks to all of players who take a little of their time and met us at Gen Con and met us here at Essen and sit with us and dedicated like 1 hour of their lives, 1 hour, sometimes even 2 hours. They played with us, they felt, well, the game goes like this. I could use a game a little harder, I could use a game a little easier. They shared the feedback, they wanted us to improve the game. This is so important, it's so rewarding, it's so meaningful to us. This is how we can improve our product, this is how we can make a better game. And it's personally, for me, is how I can learn. So it's incredible. It's really, thank you guys, thank you very much for presenting yourselves for these demonstrations. Thank you.